Hi everyone, welcome to today's video, which is all about fear and writing. Why empaths have so much trouble writing their stories, why it's so hard for us to write our stories. Now, most empaths have trouble writing, and this is something that a lot of empaths don't know. A lot of empaths don't make the connection between them being an empath and them having trouble writing, but the two are very definitely linked. This trouble comes down to the issue of fear. I see this all the time with my students and clients, this very deep-rooted fear of writing our stories, whether that's memoir, fiction, short story, or even poetry. This fear is rooted in being terrified of what others might think when we put our writing out there. So we're worried that others might not think our writing is good, or that others will be offended by something we've written. That's a big one. I hear that from people all the time. Someone's going to misunderstand what I wrote and they're going to be offended by it. Strangers on the internet are going to be offended by my writing. We might be worried that others will think that we're stupid or we're thoughtless. We have a lot of worries about, I didn't express that in exactly the way I wanted to express it. Again, someone might get the wrong idea. Someone might think I haven't thought about this deeply, when in fact this is something very close to my heart, and it is something I've thought about deeply. Another big one is that empaths really tend to have a strong calling to write memoir or personal essay, something personal about them or their family or their history, and they're very concerned that their family members or other people from the past will become angry with them if they read what they've written. So the base fear underneath all of this, the root fear, is that others will not like this or others will disapprove of my writing. This is rooted to a belief that almost all empaths struggle with, and that belief is I'm responsible for the reactions and the emotions of others. Whether an empath is conscious or unconscious about this belief is held by nearly all empaths. I'm going to say it again because it's really important. I am responsible for the reactions and the emotions of others. This is why empaths have a hard time with a lot of things, writing being just one of them. This is why empaths have a really hard time expressing their honest opinion about something. Because if you believe that you are responsible for the reactions of someone else, the emotions of someone else, you express your honest opinion. They don't like that. They have a negative reaction to it. They think you're offensive. They think you're wrong. And they come to it with a very emotionally charged negative reaction. The empath is going to take that to be their fault. I've done something to upset this person. I've caused this reaction in them. I'm wrong. I'm bad. I'm stupid. I shouldn't have done that. So what will happen is, before we even think about expressing an opinion, we will sort of scan the room or scan our friend group or scan our family group, whoever we're around, and try to anticipate how will it be taken, how will people react. And if we think a negative reaction will happen, we will usually block ourselves or stop ourselves from expressing our honest opinion. Now, obviously, no matter what you express, if you express it honestly in the world, someone out there is not going to like it. Someone's going to have a negative reaction. So when you are expressing your opinion in a public way, like you're putting your writing out on the internet, for example, you're putting articles out on your blog, or you want to publish a book, there's no way you're going to be able to anticipate all of the reactions that strangers on the internet might have. So empaths tend to try to do this sort of safety measure of like, well, someone's not going to like it, so I'm just not going to put it out there. That's the safest route to go. So that's one of the reasons we have a hard time with expressing our honest opinions. We also have a hard time with sharing ourselves with others. Again, this is that honesty, right? This is that speaking our truth, because if I share who I really am or what I'm really like, someone's not going to like it. This extends to our writing. Writing is a reflection of you. Writing is a very pure form of your honest thoughts and feelings. So if you feel like I can't really share myself with others because they might have a negative reaction, of course you're not going to want to share your writing with others either. Or writing at all. A lot of empaths, even if they say, I'm never going to show this to anybody, this is a completely private journal, it still feels to them like one day someone might see this. Or one day I might end up making the mistake of sharing this with someone else. And then I'm going to be sorry. Then they're going to have a negative reaction, and I will know I have made a mistake in even writing at all. So you can see this causes a lot of blocks and a lot of pain and a lot of fear around the very act of writing for empaths. Now, this is usually because empaths grew up in a home where negative emotions and negative reactions were projected onto us. And I say this as someone who has experienced this firsthand. I grew up in a home where nobody was very responsible for their stuff, whether that was their emotional stuff, their mental stuff, their stuff, whatever they were going through, whatever they were reacting to, they were very messy with it and they kind of sprayed it all over other people. This is your fault. You did this to me because you acted like this. Now I'm having a negative reaction. You need to change yourself. You need to adjust yourself so that you will be okay with me. That was the kind of family environment I grew up in. We see this very strongly with narcissistic parent dynamics in the home, right? The narcissistic parent believes the child should always be adjusting themselves and conforming themselves to be in line with what the parent thinks they should be. And if they don't do that, then there are going to be negative emotions and negative reactions projected onto them, kind of like a fire hose. So a lot of us empaths grew up in this kind of family environment. Even if we didn't have actual narcissists for parents, we usually grew up in a home where no one was very emotionally responsible for their own energy. And codependent energy was modeled to us. So maybe we saw this with our mom or our dad or another caretaker, where we saw the adults changing and adjusting and molding themselves to fall in line with other people's opinions and other people's preferences so that they wouldn't have to deal with the negative reactions of others. And then we thought, oh, aha, that's how you do it. That's how you are a person in the world. So we grew up carrying on that pattern. So through these different dynamics, we learn as empaths growing up in these kinds of homes that when other people have negative reactions, it's my fault. That's one of the big things we learned. That it's my fault. I'm responsible for that. I need to manage their reaction. That comes right on the heels of that. It's my fault and I need to take care of it. I need to clean it up. I need to fix it. This is why so many empaths turn into fixers in later life. And I need to prevent those reactions in the future. So I need to memorize what just happened, adjust myself accordingly, and then never do that again. These are all false beliefs, all of them, and they're all damaging beliefs to empaths who are writers, because they block you from writing. They block you from sharing your writing. Because when you sit down to write and you start to express your honest thoughts and feelings, and then you start thinking ahead and anticipating, you know, what is my family going to think about this? What are strangers out in the world going to think about this? Someone's going to be offended. Someone's going to disapprove. That's going to be my fault. I need to manage their reaction. I need to fix it and clean it up, and then I need to prevent it. So I need to not write at all, or I need not to share my writing. These are fears that I see so many empath writers go through, and I see so many empath writers hold themselves back from starting to write, continuing to write, finishing their book. It doesn't have to be this way. This is what I coach people on. This is what I teach people in my classes. There are strategies and techniques and ways that you can get through this and that you can get past it. I'm teaching a weekend class coming up May 13th, Saturday, May 13th, called Empaths and Fear of Writing. It's from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern. It's only $25. It's going to be recorded, so if you can't make it live, you can catch the recording. You do not need to be there live. And we're going to be talking about all of this kind of stuff. Empaths and fear of writing, procrastination, perfectionism, the narcissistic dynamics in the home, why we block ourselves, how we can unblock ourselves, how we can start moving forward, how we can let go of the fear and move into a different space where we feel curious, we feel freedom, we feel like we can actually explore the world through our writing, and we feel like we can actually put our writing out there one day. Now, as I said, this is one time only weekend, May 13th, Saturday, only doing this one time, $25. I want to make this as affordable and accessible to as many people as possible. I've been hearing from a lot of folks lately that people are changing jobs, financially struggling, looking for help, don't have that much money to spend. So I really want to make this a very low-priced class so that there's no barriers to entry. And again, you'll have lifetime access to that recording. So if you can't make it live, register, you'll get the recording, you'll have that whenever you need it. Registration opens Wednesday, May 10th. If you have any questions at all, please email me, lauren@laurensapala.com. There's also a contact form on my website. I'd love to see you in this class. I think it's going to be really fun. I will also say this is kind of an introductory class. So if you are a person who's already done all of my video courses and you've taken a bunch of classes with me, you probably don't need to take this class. There will be some new information, but we're going to be covering a lot of the basic foundations of my teaching. So this is really kind of an intro class. Keep that in mind when you're signing up for it. I would really love to see you there. Also, please subscribe to my channel. I do lots of videos like this on empaths, empaths in writing, empaths in creativity, empaths in energy, just sort of dealing with the whole package of stuff that it means to be an empath in the world. So please subscribe to my channel. Please also subscribe to my newsletter. You get a free book for highly sensitive writers, all about marketing. So if you have some really deep entrenched blocks about putting yourself or your art, your creations out in the world, it's a really great book for you. It's called Firefly Magic. You get it free if you subscribe to my newsletter. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. I will see you next time, and hopefully I'll see you for this upcoming class.